Hello, this is Adam Henderson, bringing you another game from WordCup. This one is against the strong player Stefan Kak. Uh, Looks like his image is broken here, so you don't get to see a picture of him. I don't even remember what he looked like either. But his rating is 1635 in NASPA, and it looks like he hasn't played he hasn't played NASPA in a while, and the ones that he has were CSW. So it looks like he's one of those that prefers playing in WGPO. I'm maybe rare that I don't prefer one over the other. I find that both have their kind of flaws and strengths. Just to introduce myself for anyone that might be new, my name is Adam Henderson, and I'm passionate about Scrabble. I'm in the Pacific Northwest area, and just like to make these videos. I do have a little bit of autism, high functioning autistic, so if I seem a little awkward, try not to let it bother you. And try to focus on the Scrabble in these videos. Let's see here. What was I? I was just curious about. Last tournament he played in was WordCup. Anyway, don't want to overanalyze. His rating is 1759 in WePo, and I assume that's closer to what his actual strength is. I am a believer in ratings. I think they tend to be pretty accurate for strength. Any particular person can play a game that make his strength seem higher than his rating or lower. But I think if you look at games over a good number of games, I think it makes more sense what people's ratings are. Give me a break. A moment here. Anyway, let's take a look at this game. I believe I've got the image of the photo that I took. And for those that play in tournaments, either NASPA or WePo, I encourage you to take photos of the game like this I have here. And I encourage you to go over your own games. You don't have to have a YouTube channel, but if you want to have a YouTube channel, you can do that as well. I find, especially once you get to the higher levels, going over your games is helpful because as helpful as playing lots of games and studying is, there's kind of a third kind of aspect that a lot of people don't realize that is really important to playing very strong Scrabble, and that is analyzing your own games and learning what, especially for your losses, learning, maybe try to analyze your games, and that's what I'm doing here, and discovering what weaknesses or flaws you may have in your strategy. This last game that I analyzed within net, and also taken together with that game 19, which I still haven't shown, from the Portland Labor Day tournament against Greg Harper. I might have to show that game sooner rather than later. I think the only reason I haven't shown it yet is because it was such a painful game for me. But yeah, taken with that Greg Harper game and that Annette game, I think I've come to the conclusion, because it's actually keeping me awake at night, that as much as I love to play aggressive Scrabble, it's not good to play aggressive and open up the board when you're ahead, even if that's your preference, like it is for me. So I'm trying to learn for that and learn to play more blocking type moves. So that's been kind of a growth for me. Let's take a look at this game. I don't know. I don't remember this game at all. I don't know if I won or lost or what happened in it. So I played in Division One. For those that don't know, so these are all like Division One players, so they're really strong, but they're not. I found that in this tournament, since it was always rated, you were always matched throughout the whole tournament against people with the same record as you. That while I was playing very strong players, it wasn't like the cream of the cream. People like Kenji or Jackson Smiley. It wasn't the people at the top of the division that I was playing. So just keep that in mind. All right. So I did go first in this game. I have the rack miss goal. I'm curious. This is my anagrammer that I coded when I was in school for programming. Oh, I did miss a bingo. Gliomas. Yeah, I missed gliomas. So, still working on that. It's a word I knew, gliomas. It was just, that's a difficult one to spot. So it's going to show that I missed that. So besides missing gliomas, what else did I have? So it likes gloam. If I don't see gliomas, I decided to just play log here because log keeps MAIS, which I think is a pretty good leave. All right, hold on. I think I accidentally tapped the wrong button here. All right. So I was just checking where I played log. So I played log here. I'm going to quickly check how strong the leave. I mean, it's going to be a strong leave because it has the S, and the S makes any leave strong. So it's almost more interesting to see what MIA. So MIA is by itself is 1.3, but when you add an S, it becomes 11.3. So S synergizes well with MIA. Yeah, it's a strong leave. I think I can defend playing log here. And this was the first time I've played Stefan CAC. So maybe that was why I didn't open long here as well. I wanted to be a little bit careful. So he plays Oi. So the game's off to kind of a closed board start, but I think it'll open up soon enough. It's that Oi isn't a terribly blocky play. And I wrote down my rack as this. So I don't have any bingos here. And I decided to just, again, I was a little bit nervous about this guy. I don't know why. I think it was just I had nerves in general being at a tournament that I'd paid so much money to be in. I decided to keep it closed by making this play. I think this makes sense. Actually, that is the top play, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, this is right. MAEIMS seems like a strong leave. Let's see. So it does improve the last leave a little bit. And does he? No, he hasn't bingoed yet, but we're both about to bingo. We've both been working on our racks. Plays WOG, which is not valid in NASPA, but it is in WIPO. And I have the rack enemies, and I play it in the only spot it plays. So, I mean, that's normal. And unfortunately, he triples. I don't think not playing enemies is a good strategy here. I think I had to play enemies. But if you're an expert player and you have a thought on whether enemies was the right play here, or if I made a terrible mistake in the first two moves, let me know. The only thing I ask is if you criticize my moves, just try to be polite about it. I I don't like it when people seem to be mean spirited. So yeah, he triples here, and let's see. I'm not out of the game yet, and actually I do. I do have a comeback. I play because I have my own blank. I played Stitcher. Stitcher scores 89. Hermetic scores 3 more. So I could play that in 4 different ways. So Hermetic is better just because it scores 3 more. So I have Snitcher, Switcher, and Stitcher. I was confident that Stitcher was a word, so I played that. And now the score's about even. Plays Kruby. Let's see here. Where's Kruby fit? Oh, okay. So yet comes down here. So this was the play I made, but it looks like there may have been 3 better plays. Zyme would have been better by about. I mean, the Z by itself, how much equity is the Z? About 5 points. So that's about. Zyme is about a 4-point miss, but these two are much bigger miss, and Zloty in particular. Obviously, I know Zlot and Zloty. These were just huge misses, and the only reason I think I could have missed these is just because of the intensity of playing in a tournament. I've spent so much money. I've mentioned this before, but I think it's worth mentioning one more time. It cost me about $2,000 to play in this tournament, and part of the reason it was so much money it was the hotel fees, and also I have to pay for both my flight and a ticket for my husband. So it is kind of a vacation for me, but I also feel kind of more pressure to do well, and unfortunately, feeling that pressure can make you actually miss things like Zloty here. That's the only reason I can think of that I missed that. You're under a lot of time pressure. 25 minutes to a layman might seem like not. It might seem like a lot of time for a game of Scrabble, but there's so many considerations, and you have to really. Time management is such a big part of the game because you have to kind of choose how to spend your time in any given game, and still trying to figure the time management part out. Yeah, those were big misses. I don't really have a lot else to say. It's saying that Yet is actually better than Teasel here, or Teasel. I mean, Teasel is actually better than Teasel. I'm wondering if this actually is a better play than. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I played Yet. I'm not entirely sure. I the problem with the Z for me is that I think I'm being clever by keeping the Z on my rack a lot of times when I really should just take the time and see if I have a large scoring play with it, and just take more time. Whenever a Z is on your rack, and sometimes the other 3 high point tiles, QX, J, it's better to take more time on those moves because those are the type of moves that if you don't take enough time on them, like I didn't here, it's really going to bite you in the ass when it comes to analyzing the game. Um, and it'll be where your biggest mistakes are going to be on racks that where you have a high power tile and you just miss something. All right. I got a little bit of a break here. He plays Tunard here. I'm not sure. Right in the chat if you know what he was going for. I wasn't really. I held the play, and this is what I would consider an alien word because it doesn't really. Some phonies they just have like a common suffix and prefix, and they're just guessing like okay, maybe this able word is valid, maybe this out word is out something is valid. And you can kind of sniff out phonies because like many phonies have a common suffix or prefix. This one doesn't have a common suffix or prefix, so I call it an alien word because it has kind of a different construction. And so those can be the more difficult ones to challenge. Eventually, I felt like this is the type of word that I would have studied, and it just wasn't something I'd ever seen before. And, you know, the thought is that, sure, it could be a word I just never seen before because there's still plenty of those out there, especially in the 7 and 8 letter range, but this looked too weird for me, and I decided to challenge it just based on that. And I had a successful challenge. I'm trying to figure out what my rack here was. Sometimes I don't write my complete rack in order to save time, but it does make it a little bit annoying when I do these analysis. Okay, I see. Yeah, I spent all that saving the Z, and I didn't really have much to. So I still have that Teasel play. I have Zeal here. I decided to go with Lutz. So Lutz keeps PEEA. I'm not sure why I decided to do this. This doesn't seem right. I guess I was trying to block some lanes. Yeah, I don't exactly know what my thinking was here. This doesn't seem right. Yeah. Also, I should have, if I was going to make that play, I should have played putts instead. Yeah, I'm not sure what I was thinking with Lutz. That was what I played. He plays Knighted. So I got rid of the Z, and that was good, because a lot of times if you keep a power tile for too long, you'll get a second power tile, and that's exactly what happened here. So I got a second power tile, and I missed Jeep. That's terrible. I wonder if I actually missed Jeep, or I just didn't like the ANN leave, plus the fact that he's going to have a big scoring play, likely immediately after from the J to the triple. Decided to go with Gene. Possibly that's because I was worried about I had a lead and I wanted to protect it, and I want to take a start closing down the board, and Gene does that. Give your thoughts down below if Gene was a good player, if I should have played Jeep. I'm thinking I probably should have played Jeep here. All right. So here he plays boar. And I'm increasing my lead, you can see. After that last exchange, I went up by another 7. So now I'm up, what is that? It's not quite 50, it's 44 points, which is still a big lead, especially once we're starting to get closer to the end of the game. And I have enough high point tiles on this rack that I can do some good damage here. And I played Yomp. So third best play here. Money is okay, it looks like. But the best play is U-Pawn. Anyway, Yomp comes down. Maybe I kept the U because there's a Q out. I don't know. That doesn't really make sense either because there's 3 U's out. So the Q isn't so much of a concern. Rag comes down. But it was good that I kept the Q because I drew the U. And I played Queer, which is actually 14 points less than Sink, but yeah, I think it's worth not playing Sink here and playing Queer. It obstructs bingo lanes through the N and knitted. So yeah, want to probably close down some lanes. Queer does that. And he plays Ranese. And I held the play because I wasn't sure if Truby took the S or not. I decided to let it go. That was the right decision. I didn't see Vicuna. I just played Vac here, so again, just closing some lanes. I wasn't really thinking too critically here. Maybe I should have. But I was starting to feel more confident that I was just going to win this game. I was probably a little bit overconfident here. I didn't get punished for it, though. He plays Hugh. And here I play Finn. And where does he play? He plays Diva. And I played Bo. And he goes out with Rodents. And that was the game. So you could see that this was actually a close game. The final score was 426 to 449. He miscounted one of his plays. Let me just go back to that play where he played Rodents. So he actually had a play that scored 9 more. snorted. So if he had played that instead, what would the score been? It would have been, hold on. So he still wouldn't have won. It was just been a little bit closer. So yeah, that was the game. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Please leave a like on your way out. Bye bye.